Manchester Airport, is an international airport in Ringway, Manchester, England. In 2013, it was third busiest airport in the United Kingdom in terms of passenger numbers, and the 21st busiest airport in Europe. Manchester Airport is the largest outside the London region with over double the passengers of the next non-London airport, Edinburgh Airport. A Category 10 airport, Manchester Airport provides flights to around 200 destinations a year or more than any other airport in the United Kingdom. The airport comprises 3 terminals, a goods terminal, and is the only British airport other than London's Heathrow Airport to operate 2 runways over 3,280 yards in length. The airport covers an area of 1,440 acres. The terminals are 7.5 nautical miles southwest of Manchester city centre. It officially opened on June 25, 1938 and was initially known as Ringway Airport. During World War II, it was called RAF Ringway, as a base for the Royal Air Force, and from 1975 until 1986, Manchester International Airport. The airport is owned and managed by the Manchester Airports Group, a holding company owned by the 10 metropolitan borough councils of Greater Manchester, with the Manchester City Council owning the largest stake. The airport has numerous transport links and is served by the M56 motorway and by the Manchester Airport railway station, which provides extensive rail connections. The airport regularly handled the supersonic transport Concorde and currently houses the British Airways GBOAC flagship Concorde at the Manchester Runway Visitor Park. Ringway, which the airport was named after, still exists as a village with a few buildings and church at the southern edge of the airport. The airport currently handles 20.8 million passengers annually and spare capacity exists for up to 50 million passengers annually. Vacant land exists for expansion. Future developments include the £800 million Manchester Airport City scheme aims to create logistics, manufacturing, office and hotel space adjacent to the airport. Ongoing transport improvements include a new 15-stop Metrolink tramline and a 4th railway platform. Future transport improvements include a dedicated 10-kilometre relief road and a high-speed 2 station. History. Manchester Airport started construction on November 28, 1935 and opened partly in June 1937 and completely on June 25, 1938, in Ringway Parish north of Wilmlow. Its north border was Yew Tree Lane. Its southeast border was a little west of Altrincham Road. During World War II it was the Royal Air Force's base RAF Ringway, and was important in military aircraft production and training parachutists. After World War II, the base reverted to a civilian airport, and gradually expanded to its present size. Historically, Manchester Airport has consistently been the busiest airport after London Heathrow for a number of decades following the war. In 1972, the M56 motorway opened to the airport. By 1993, the airport railway station opened. From 1997 to 2001 its second runway was built, causing large-scale protests in the area. Future airport expansion. As part of the government's The Future of Air Transport White Paper, Manchester Airport published its master plan on its proposed expansions until 2030. Demolition of older buildings, such as old storage buildings, the old Alpha Catering Building and Mails Garage, to the east of Terminal 3 has already begun, to make way for a new apron and taxiway towards runway 05L/23R, and an eastwards extension of Terminal 3, which is planned to provide 15 more covered stands. A full-length parallel taxiway may be added to the second runway, and more crossing points added across the first runway to improve ground movements of aircraft. Passenger flow on Terminal 1's gating piers is due to be realigned, with plans to redesign the piers so departures and arrivals do not contraflow on the same level, allowing larger seating areas at the gates, express retail outlets, and a dedicated lounge and gating area for future Airbus A380 flights. Currently, Gate 12, Pier B has been upgraded to accommodate the A380, the only gate at the airport that can handle this aircraft so far. An early phase of this has seen the removal of the South Bay remote aircraft stands, constructed in 1962 between taxiways Juliet and Kilo, and as a result more recently realigning taxiway Juliet into an extended taxiway Bravo. Terminal 2 is due to receive a major extension, to encompass current remote stands to the west. A satellite terminal is also projected for Terminal 2. Between 12 and 15 covered aircraft stands will be made available by this. An airside link for transferring passengers between Terminals 1 and 2 is at the planning stage, designed in an effort to boost Manchester's chances of becoming a major hub airport and minimise missed connections. Terminal 3 acquired an extra security control area in November 2007, near check-in Area C, dedicated to passengers travelling to common travel area destinations. In January 2008, the usage was extended to all Terminal 3 passengers, with the exception of those destined for Frankfurt, Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport and Brussels. This new security control area is now used for all departures from Terminal 3. The old security area has now closed and the area which it once covered is now part of the Terminal 3 airside departure lounge, housing the retail outlets Accessorize and Dixon's Travel. There are also plans to create a business centre to help encourage businesses to set up in Manchester. Expansion plans 2010 to 2030. In June 2010, Manchester Airport issued a document The Need for Land about how it wants to expand over the next 20 years. This expansion plan has caused protests. See Stop Expansion at Manchester Airport. The 5 affected areas are: World Logistics Hub. This is a plan to build cargo sheds and goods handling on 90 acres of farmland on the southwest side of the A538 road next to the southeast side of the M56 motorway, across the A538 from the present cargo terminal, near Junction 6 of the M56. This will obliterate Oak Farm and Oak Farm cottages, and the part of Sunbank Lane west of the A538. There are protests about this plan. Terminals. Manchester Airport has 3 passenger terminals. Terminals 1 and 2 are linked by the Skylink, with travelators to aid passengers with a €10 15-minute walk. Terminal 3 is linked to Terminal 1 and the Skylink by a covered walkway. The Skylink also connects the terminals to the airport railway station complex and the Radisson Blu Hotel. The Skylink started construction in 1996 and opened 1997. Expansion to the Radisson Hotel was completed in 1998 when the hotel opened. The airport has over 50 airline customers operating a global network of scheduled, charter and freight services. North American carriers at Manchester include American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta Airlines and US Airways. The Virgin Atlantic scheduled USA services will be joined by Thomas Cook Airlines in May 2015 with frequent services to New York and Miami. Caribbean services are a mix of scheduled and charter services operated by Virgin Atlantic, Thomas Cook Airlines and Thomson Airways to various destinations including Cuba, Jamaica, Barbados, Dominican Republic and others. Airlines serving the Asian market include Cathay Pacific, Emirates, Etihad Airways, Flynas, Pakistan International Airlines, Qatar Airways, Saudia and Singapore Airlines. North Africa is connected via Egyptair, Libyan Airlines and EasyJet. Europe is connected via an extensive range of scheduled and charter services covering all major alliance hubs, important cities and holiday destinations. Scheduled airlines with a base at Manchester include BMI Regional, EasyJet, Flybe, Jet2, Monarch, Ryanair and Virgin Atlantic. Charter airlines with a base at Manchester include Monarch, Small Planet Airlines, Thomas Cook Airlines and Thomson Airways. Manchester Airport offers flights to over 190 destinations across the globe and 65 tour operators utilise the facility. Many of Manchester's overseas routes are served by charter flights to holiday destinations, some being seasonal. The proportion of scheduled passengers passing through Manchester has increased from 43% in 1991 to 68% during 2009. Manchester also offers more destinations than some of the biggest airports in the USA, including John F. Kennedy International Airport, although it is still slightly behind the 3 biggest hubs in the global aviation network: Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, Frankfurt Airport and Amsterdam Airport Schiphol. which each offer more than 250 destinations. However, Manchester serves more foreign destinations than Atlanta and Frankfurt, although being much smaller in terms of total passengers handled. Terminal 1. Terminal 1 is used by airlines with scheduled and charter operations, flying to European and other worldwide destinations. It is the largest terminal at the airport. It was opened in 1962, by Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and it is a base for EasyJet, Jet2, Small Planet Airlines and Thomas Cook. Some other airlines that fly out of Terminal 1 include Brussels Airlines, Emirates, Etihad Airways, Lufthansa, Swiss, TAP Portugal and Turkish Airlines. Terminal 1 is spread over an area of 110,000 am2. The terminal has 29 stands, of which 15 have air bridges, and is the largest of the three terminals. Terminal 1's current capacity is around 11 million passengers a year compared with an annual capacity of 2.5 million passengers when it first opened. In the summer of 2009, a £50 million redevelopment programme for Terminal 1 was completed. As part of the overhaul, which took over 2 years, a new £14 million 14-lane security area opened during April 2008. The terminal's arrivals area has since been revamped with additional catering and retail facilities. Terminal 1's departure lounge has been expanded with a greater choice of shops and restaurants, following the virtual elimination of the landside area, and additional executive lounges have been added. Following the 2007 smoking ban, the indoor ventilated smoking room in the departure lounge was closed, however this was replaced in 2010 by a rooftop smoking terrace to allow passengers to smoke after passing through security. Terminal 2. Terminal 2 is used by a variety of airlines, operating both charter and scheduled flights to many European and worldwide destinations. It opened in 1993 and it is a base for Monarch, Thomson Airways and Virgin Atlantic. Some other airlines that use the terminal include Air Malta, Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airlines, Qatar Airways, and United Airlines. Terminal 2 is spread over an area of 52,000 am2. Terminal 2 has 20 gates, of which 14 have air bridges. The design of the terminal makes it capable of extensive expansion. Planning permission already exists for an extension providing additional gates, together with the construction of a satellite pier. Terminal 2's current capacity is around 8 million passengers a year. This will be extended to ultimately handle 25 million passengers a year. In 2007, an £11 million project commenced to redevelop Terminal 2 by improving security facilities and enhancing retail and catering services. This has resulted in the elimination of the landside shopping area to allow for an expanded airside departure lounge. The ground-level arrivals area has also been redeveloped with improved catering and retail facilities. Like Terminal 1, following the 2007 smoking ban, the indoor ventilated smoking room in the departure lounge was closed, however this was replaced in 2009 by an external smoking area at Gate 300 to allow passengers to smoke after passing through security. The departure lounge also has an unsupervised children's play area at Gate 212. Terminal 2's new upper-level security area opened during July 2008 and the entire terminal redevelopment completed during autumn 2009. Terminal 3. Terminal 3 was known in succession as Terminal 1 British Airways, Terminal 1A, and Terminal 3 British Airways and Domestic before becoming simply known as Terminal 3. This terminal now handles the majority of domestic routes from Manchester as well as some scheduled European flights and a few intercontinental flights. The terminal was opened in 1989 by Diana, Princess of Wales as Terminal 1 Domestic before redesignating as Terminal 3 in May 1998. It is now primarily a base for Flybe and Ryanair operations. Some other airlines that fly out of Terminal 3 include Air France, American Airlines, British Airways, BMI Regional and KLM. Terminal 3 is spread over an area of 44,400 am2. In June 1998, British Airways opened their new £75 million terminal facility designed by Grimshaw Architects, this being a major extension to Terminal 3, and became the primary user of the terminal along with their own world partner airlines. Later events. More recently, British Airways have scaled down operations from the Manchester Airport with the sale of their BA Connect subsidiary to Flybe, and the ending of their franchise agreement with GB Airways, a business subsequently sold to EasyJet. In October 2008, the daily New York JFK service was also terminated, and in March 2013, the frequent service to London Gatwick was terminated as well. This leaves a daily high-frequency BA shuttle serving London Heathrow. In codeshare with British Airways' own World Alliance partner American Airlines, operations remain in Terminal 3 with daily flights to both New York JFK and Chicago O'Hare. Since taking over BA Connect's select routes, Flybe has gone on to add several more destinations. In 2012, Flybe introduced the A-Euro-OM and I-Uber-Euro concept, coordinating the arrival and departure times of various domestic services throughout the day and thereby creating combinations such as Norwich-Manchester-Belfast, Glasgow-Manchester-Southampton, or even Edinburgh-Manchester-Exeter, and others to be accomplished in each direction with conveniently short transfer times. In 2013, Virgin Atlantic introduced its Little Red short-haul brand to take up some of the available Heathrow and Gatwick slots. Manchester was the inaugural destination, with further rollouts subsequently including Aberdeen and Edinburgh. Initially, these services are operated by aircraft wet leased from Aer Lingus. There are currently 4 flights in each direction between Manchester and London, which are described as timed to coincide with Virgin Atlantic's international schedules. Airlines and destinations, passenger, cargo, operations and statistics, passenger numbers. Passenger numbers at Manchester peaked in 2006 when over 22.4 million passed through the airport. In 2013, around 20.7 million passengers used the airport, an increase of 5.1% compared with 2012, making Manchester the 3rd busiest airport in the UK in terms of annual passenger throughput. Busiest routes, maintenance bases. Manchester Airport is the home to the engineering bases of Thomas Cook Airlines and Monarch Airlines. Airlines such as Etihad Airways also have one of 6 maintenance bases worldwide in Manchester with their newly opened line maintenance facility. World Freight Terminal. Manchester Airport has a World Freight Terminal, serving cargo-only freighter services and cargo carried on regular passenger flights. It was opened in 1986, west of the original airfield. There is 550,000 sq.ft of warehouse and office space on site, including a chiller unit for frozen products and a border inspection post. There are 3 aircraft maintenance hangars, with 5 transit sheds, operated by British Airways Regional Cargo, Swissport Cargo, Menzies World Cargo, Plane Handling and Servisair. There are over 100 freight forwarding companies on site. Freight throughput at the airport grew from 94,000 tons in 1997 to the peak at 165,000 tons in 2007, but then declined to around 97,000 tons in 2012, making Manchester the 5th busiest UK airport for freight behind London Heathrow, East Midlands, London Stansted and Gatwick airports. Runways. Manchester Airport has 2 parallel runways. Runway 1 3048 AMA, A45 AM, and Runway 2 3050 AMA, A45 AM. Both runways are 390 AM apart and staggered by 1850 AM so that landings can be conducted independently on one runway whilst takeoffs are conducted on the other. The original main runway, then designated 06/24 and initially 3,300 ft in length, opened on May 17, 1937 when the airport was used as an RAF base and a military aircraft assembly centre. It was extended in stages from 1952, reaching its current length in 1981 to attract long-haul international traffic. As demand and aircraft movements both increased during the mid-1990s, mainly due to the newly completed Terminal 2, the airport studied the option of a second full-length runway. A consultation process began and planning permission was approved in 1997, with construction work starting the same year. The second runway, initially designated 06A/24L, became operational on February 5, 2001 at a cost of £172 million, and was the first full-length commercial runway to open in Britain for over 20 years. The site where the second runway was constructed was on the southern airfield boundary, which is near the village of Stile in the Cheshire countryside. The project was deemed controversial because of the destruction of natural wildlife habitats and because of the added flight paths which led to and from the second runway. This results in aircraft flying low over the residential areas of Knutsford and Stockport when landing or taking off, in particular landing aircraft which do not follow preferred noise routes. Planning permission for runway 2 permits use of both runways between the hours of 0600-2200. At night between the hours of 2200-0600 single runway operations based on runway 1 are used. Exceptions are made for emergencies and plan maintenance. In practice, dual runway operations incorporating runway 2 are only used at peak demand, which is currently in the morning and then again between 1300 to 2000 hours. Most aircraft arriving into Manchester Airport use the instrument landing system, which in line with most other airports has a glide slope of 3 degrees equal to descending 318 feet per nautical mile. The prevailing wind direction is westerly, so normally aircraft fly from northeast to southwest. In practice this means that normally aircraft land from the northeast over Stockport, Cheadle and Yield Green and take off towards Knutsford. In dual runway operations aircraft will usually land onto runway 1 and depart from runway 2. When the wind direction changes, usually affecting 20% of movements per annum, operations are reversed with aircraft landing from the southwest, lining up to the south over Northwich and over Knutsford and taking off towards Stockport. In dual runway operations aircraft will usually land onto runway 2 and depart from runway 1. Sometimes, aircraft arriving into Manchester Airport are held in stacks, usually in poor weather when the movement rate decreases. The airport has 3 stacks, DAYNE, MIRSI and ROSUN, each located approximately 15/20 miles from the airport. DAYNE serves arrivals from the south, ROSUN from the north and east and MIRSI from the west. If you live within 20 miles of the airport, you will likely see and hear aircraft. Control Tower. A new control tower was opened on June 25, 2013. At 60 am tall, it is the UK's second tallest control tower, after London Heathrow, and it replaces the old tower on top of Terminal 1. Security. Manchester Airport is policed by the Greater Manchester Police. Several security-related incidents have occurred at the airport in recent years. In 2002, a security firm successfully smuggled fake explosives, detonators and genuine firearms onto a flight. In 2004, the BBC's whistleblower program revealed security failures at the airport, including faulty metal detectors and a lack of regular random baggage checks. In 2005, police used a taser on a man spotted acting suspiciously, on the apron, after he appeared to resist arrest. On June 6, 2006, Abid Hussain Khan, 21, of West Yorkshire and a 16-year-old boy were arrested at the airport and later charged under Section 57 of the Terrorism Act, for conspiracy to murder and conspiracy to cause public nuisance by using poisons or explosives. On July 24, 2012, an 11-year-old boy went straight through security and managed to board the nearest boarding flight from security in T1, which happened to be a Jet 2 flight to Rome. Halfway through the flight one passenger reported him to the cabin crew, who then detained the boy at Rome and put him on the next flight back to Manchester. On August 5, 2014, a 47-year-old man was arrested after the pilot of the plane became aware of a potential device on board. This turned out to be a hoax. As a result, Manchester Airport was closed for over 2 hours, with the man led away by armed police. Ground transport. Rail. Manchester Airport Railway Station, opened in May 1993, forms part of the station and is located between Terminals 1 and 2. It is linked to the terminals using a ski-link moving walkway. Trains are operated either by Northern Rail or TransPennine Express and connect the airport to Manchester Piccadilly Station and other railway stations mainly throughout northern England, including Crewe, Wigan and Southport, but some trains come from as far as Edinburgh. A third rail platform was completed in December 2008 to allow for an increase in rail capacity. In 2009 Network Rail stated that the creation of the third platform has meant that the capacity at Manchester Airport will become constrained by the layover of the trains and congestion at the throat. To solve this issue they have recommended building a line underneath the airport towards Northwich in the 2019 to 2024 period. On January 28, 2013, the government announced the station will be included in the second stage of High Speed 2, which will give the airport direct links with other British cities like Birmingham and London and also a quicker route into central Manchester. Bus and coach. The station is the airport's ground transport interchange and brings bus, coach and rail passengers under one roof. Over 300 trains, 100 coaches and 500 buses a day use the facility. Buses serve many locations throughout Greater Manchester, including the 24-hour bus service Skyline, which runs every 10 minutes to Manchester city centre via Wythenshawe, North Endon, Withington, Fallowfield and Rusholme. There is also Skyline operating every hour to Altrincham via Wythenshawe and Sale. A network of National Express coach services serve Manchester Airport and operate to destinations further afield, including as far as Dublin. The bus and coach services that use the bus station and its stand letter R, Road. The airport is a 20-minute drive from Manchester city centre and is reached by the M56 motorway, with a dedicated approach road from the motorway at Junction 5. The M56 is the main route used by traffic to reach the airport. There are also minor local roads serving the airport from the north and the east. The M56 Borough 538 Road Junction serves the World Freight Terminal, to the west of the airport. The A538 runs east-west serving the local towns of Altrincham and Wilmlow. A new link road to the A6 south of Stockport has been approved with construction due to begin later in 2014. Taxi ranks are situated by arrivals at all three terminals. Passengers driving to the airport can use the drop-off areas outside the terminal buildings, but when picking up passengers the airport requires that they park in the short-stay car parks provided for a fee. Long-stay car parks are situated both on and off-site. Parking. The airport's official short-stay car parking can be found in the multi-story car parks adjacent to Terminals 1, 2 and 3. In July 2007 the airport introduced a no-waiting restriction on all access roads surrounding the terminals. This was a direct result of the 2007 Glasgow International Airport attack, and so all pickups must take place by using the short-stay car parks. Indiana, 2009/2010 Terminal 1's multi-story car park was refurbished. Each level of the car park is color-coded. The floor, walls, ceiling and supports have all received a repaint, with every parking space having a sensor and green light above it, with empty parking bays indicated by the green light. Official long-stay on airport parking from Manchester Airport is located near the terminals and served by a regular courtesy bus. There is one long-stay car park serving Terminals 1 and 3, and a separate dedicated long-stay car park for Terminal 2. In 2009 the airport opened jet parks, a Euro 2 long-stay car parks less than a mile from the terminals. This is a cheaper alternative to the on-site car parks and is served by a 24-hour shuttle bus every 15 minutes. The airport also operates a shuttle park for long-stay car parking, which is also served by a regular courtesy bus, and is located just off the airport side to the east of Terminal 3. There are several privately operated car parks within a short distance of the airport, served by shuttle bus. Light rail. The Manchester Metrolink light rail system has had plans to extend to the airport for many years. When the idea of a congestion charge was mooted, part of the scheme was to have extended the Metrolink to the airport. However, when this was rejected, the future of the scheme was in doubt. In 2009, it was announced that the line to the airport will finally be built. The airport line will be one spur of the line from St Werburgh's Road, to East Didsbury and Manchester Airport, which is due to open in 2014-18 months ahead schedule. Effect on the area. Criticism: expansion of the airport caused closures of public roads in the area. Early development closed Dewtree Lane, which ran across the modern terminal area. Building the goods terminal closed country lanes to the southwest of the airport area. The 1982 expansion cut the A538 road from Altrincham to Wilmlow and diverted it south through a tunnel under the runway. Unlike with London Heathrow Airport, not all the area is flat. To the south the land drops sharply into the Bollin River Valley, and the runway extension needed heavy embankment building. Building the second runway put the A538 through another tunnel, and obliterated woodland in the Stile area. It also closed a through-country lane from Stile southwest to the A538. Traffic along that route now must make a long detour through the centre of Wilmlow. Between 1997 and 1999 3 protest camps were set up to oppose the building of the second runway, the felling of nearby trees on land owned by the National Trust in Stile, Cheshire and air transportation in general. Camps were set up in Flywood, Arthur's and Cedarswood. Swampy, a well-known activist, was among many protesters. Big eastward expansion of car parks obliterated much open land and the community of Hayhead. Much replacing of farmland by concreted areas and big buildings has caused a big increase in flash floods on the River Bollin. The southwest end of the new runway is closer to the town of Knutsford than to the village of Moberly. There has been an increase in noise experienced by local residents from the aircraft being lower and closer, and homeowners have not been compensated by the airport. In 2007 Manchester Airport wanted to build on further greenbelt land in Stile to increase its car parking. However, the former Macclesfield Borough Council refused to give them planning permission to do so and expressed annoyance at the airport for not investing enough in public transport. Macclesfield Borough Council have said that they would consider giving planning permission for a new car park on brownfield land. The airport did not make another application, despite claims that the number of parking spaces was insufficient for the number of passengers. Despite public concerns about privacy and health risks, Manchester Airport introduced full-body X-ray scanners in all terminals. Under Department for Transport regulations, these scans were compulsory for all passengers selected to undergo the scan. Passengers who objected to the scans were not allowed to fly. The X-ray body scanners were removed in September 2012. Incidents and accidents. On March 27, 1951, a Douglas C-47A 75 deciliter Dakota III cargo aircraft operated by Air Transport Charter and en route to Nuts Corner Airport, Antrim, Northern Ireland, crashed at Hayhead shortly after takeoff from runway 06, following the aircraft's failure to gain height. There were 4 fatalities, 2 of the 3 crew on board and 2 of the 3 passengers. The subsequent investigation found that the crash resulted from a loss of engine power, caused by ice forming in the carburetor intakes, attributable to the captain's failure to use the heat controls. An extended undercarriage and snow on the wings may have also been contributory factors. On March 14, 1957, British European Airways flight Berlin 411 operated by Vickers Viscount 701 inbound from Amsterdam crashed into houses in Shadow Moss Road, Woodhouse Park. The aircraft was on final approach to runway 24 at Manchester Airport, and the crash was due to a flap failure, caused by fatigue of a wing bolt. All 20 occupants on board died, as did 2 on the ground. On April 29, 1957, a Miles Aerovan Type 4 crashed on takeoff due to fuel pump failure. 2 on board were killed, including the female pilot. On June 4, 1967, a Euro Stockport air disaster. A Euro British Midland Airways Canada C4 Argonaut was inbound from Palma and crashed near the centre of Stockport after loss of engine power due to fuel problems and an aborted approach to Manchester Airport, with 72 fatalities. On March 20, 1969, Vickers Viscount GAVJA of British Midland Airways crashed on takeoff. 3 of the 4 people on board were killed. On August 22, 1985, a Euro-British Air Tours Flight 28MA an engine failed during takeoff from runway 24, the fire spreading into the cabin. resulting in 55 fatalities aboard the Boeing 737-236 Advanced GBGJL. The uncontained engine failure was later traced to an incorrectly repaired combustor, causing the turbine disc to shatter and puncture the wing fuel tanks. On August 5, 2014, Qatar Airways Flight 23 was escorted by RAF Typhoon fighter jets as a result of a man saying there was a bomb aboard the aircraft. The plane landed safely and armed police arrested the man. Inbound planes were diverted to other airports for 25 minutes. Public attractions. Manchester Airport has had public viewing areas since the airport opened to the public in 1938. The 1961 1970th Pier top viewing facilities have been closed because of security concerns. In May 1992, an official aviation viewing park was created just off the A538 road on the southwestern side of the airfield. This was moved to the western side of the airfield in May 1997 to allow construction of the second runway. Renamed the Runway Visitor Park in June 2010, the facility is regarded as providing the best official viewing facilities for aircraft spotting at any major UK airport by aircraft enthusiasts. Visitors can view aircraft taking off and landing from both runways, and aircraft taxiing to and from the runways. This attraction now draws around 300,000 visitors a year and is one of Greater Manchester's top 10 attractions. The visitor park also has a cafe and a shop selling aviation-related items. Aircraft on display are GBOAC, a retired British Airways Concorde, once the flagship of the airline's 7-strong Concorde fleet. The project to build a hangar for the jet was delayed due to the discovery of protected great-crested newts on the site, which the airport is under obligation to rehouse at their own expense. The aircraft was moved into the hangar on January 13, 2009. The last airliner to be built in the UK, BAE Systems Heathrow RJX. The forward fuselage of Monarch Airlines Douglas DC-10 GDMCA, which was retired in 2002. One of only two preserved Hawker Siddeley Trident 3B aircraft, GAWZK in full BEA livery. A former RAF Nimrod aircraft. The aircraft was moved into place in April 2010. Level 13 of the short-stay car park at Terminal 1 has another viewing location, popular with spotters for the last 32 years. As part of a recent refurbishment, the Cafar Copyright and Aviation Shop, which were once part of the viewing area, have now been closed, with the aviation shop moving to the Terminal 1 arrivals area. The level is now used as a car park for rental cars. The building that once housed the cafe and aviation shop is now the reception area offices for the car rental companies. Spotting is still tolerated on level 13, and it is still a good place to take pictures of aircraft taxiing and parked up at Terminal 1, Terminal 2, the World Freight Terminal and the hangars. Terminal 3 stands are not visible from level 13. They are better viewed from the south side of the airport near Moss Lane. The Airport Hotel is a public house operated by Robinson's Brewery, and is on Ringway Road about 0.5 mi from the airport. Its beer garden overlooks the east end of Taxiway J and the eastern threshold of Runway 23, which are only 50 ft away, and provides good views of east-west landing approaches and some takeoff rolls. References, footnotes. Bibliography. External links. Media related to Manchester Airport at Wikimedia Commons.